Well, these are kind of neat. This is different today. So hang around and see how I integrate these into my big old leg day. Let's go do it. Hey gang, welcome back to Mark's 60 Plus Fitness Journey. Today is Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022. Yesterday was a rest day for Mr. Mark here. Today is a big one. We're going to call it Big Old Leg Day. And today's leg day is going to focus on squats. I'm going to move up 10 pounds in my progressive overload weight, working weight, which we'll see in a minute here. And I'm going to try to sneak in 3 sets of 5 reps. If I can do better, even better. So, how about we go in here and see how this thing turns out. And then we'll check back in a few minutes, wrap it all up. Let's go do it. Alrighty, off we go. Now today's big old leg day was going to be, or was indeed, squat centric. Had big expectations for my squats today, but as we'll see a little bit later here, I'm happy with the squats, but at the same time, a little bit disappointed. So I'm just getting some warm-ups in here. Try to get the old hips and back stretched out and acclimated to some depth here. And that depth is exactly where I kind of ran aground today. This is the last warm-up set here up at 225, just to get a feel for a little bit of weight. And this is also where I kind of almost, well, I did talk myself into, this is going to be heavy today. I felt like this was heavy, so in my mind, kind of threw myself a curve. Now this is set 1 of my working weight, and I think in the intro I said I was going to move up 10 pounds. Actually I only moved up 5, so this is 250. My last successful progressive overload set was at 245, 3 sets of 7 reps at 245. Now this is today I was shooting for 3 sets of 5 reps, and if I could do more, all the better. And I think on this first set I got 6, but here is the rub. I don't feel like the depth was where I wanted it. So set 1 done, 6 reps. Trying to force myself to take at least 3 minutes of rest between sets, more if I can talk myself into it. Onward to set 2. And I mentioned on that last warm-up set at 225, I had talked myself into this was going to be heavy. Well, that translates into afraid to go very deep. Now my new squat routine is all based on full bottom out squat, ATG, ass to grass squat. This is a long way from that. Now this weight didn't feel overwhelmingly heavy. I was just a little hesitant to go deep. So maybe a rational person would have lowered the weight and gotten the depth. I chose not to do that today. I chose to go ahead and do this based on what I felt. And I think it's a two-sided coin, as I said. I felt pretty good about the work, just not the depth. So set 3 here. You know, actually that second set felt better than the first. And this third set was maybe even the best set of all of them. Let's look at the depth here. My hips are definitely below parallel, which is good. And if you look at my hamstring position right at the bottom there, it's almost totally against the calf, but not quite. So focus for the squats is depth, continuing to work on that. But I did get 3 sets of 6 reps here. So my next squat session, I'll stay at this 250 and shoot for 3 sets of 7 at a greater depth. But all in all, felt good. My quads were pumped, so I got some work done. Nothing wrong with that. Now I wanted to do a little more quad work, quad specific. So I jumped on this hack squat machine. So there's very little back involved in this. This is almost purely quad centric. And I have a love-hate relationship with this particular hack squat. Some days I can feel it across the top of my kneecaps. It's not really a pain, it's more of a tension. But today felt pretty good, and I think a lot of that is contingent on the foot placement and the shoes I'm wearing. And speaking of shoes, oh, by the way, I did 3 sets of 8 reps here with the 245s on either side. 3 sets of these after 3 good sets, somewhat good sets of squats. But speaking of the shoes, these are hiking shoes, but they have a really solid foundation and a little bit of a lift on the back. Somewhat reminiscent of a squat shoe or weightlifting shoe. Kind of a wedge. But these feel good when I'm doing leg day squats and any kind of application there, squat-wise. And one day I may, oh, here's something else. This is new. See this ledge here and that bar? I'm using that to do, I guess these are like modified pistol squats. I mean, my off leg is pointing backwards and not forward, so it's not a true pistol squat. Maybe they're even body weight lunges, only really, really deep, which is the point of this exercise today. I wanted to go very deep. And in my mind, the theory here is it's going to help me with the depth on my squats, and in that I get a little more stretch right there at the Achilles tendon. The only problem with this is the knee is not forward enough. I need to have the knee a little further over my toe for this to truly get me a stretch on the Achilles tendon. But I did 3 sets of these on each. Well, actually, I did 2 sets on the right leg and 3 sets on my left leg. My left leg lags my right, is smaller than my right, so I tend to put a little more emphasis on my left leg, and have been for months, and I think it actually is making a difference. It's kind of a battle I'm working there, trying to keep the left leg growing and not totally ignoring the right. But anyway, 2 sets on the right leg, 3 sets on the left here of, I don't know what I did here. I think I did 8 or 10, but they were hard. Those bad boys were hard. Then I moved on to some leg extensions. I did 3 sets of leg extensions to failure. Just picked a weight that, now failure here was probably like in the 12, 13 rep range. But 3 sets of leg extensions here. And I didn't record this, but I did an extra set of leg extensions on the left leg. But this ends the quad portion of my leg day. And I got to tell you, even if I was a little disappointed in the squat depth, my quads were pumped. I felt, when I was walking around, I felt I had done some work. This was good. So it was a good quad portion of the leg day. Then I finished up with some hamstring work, with some calf work. And this is something in my mind I need to put a little more emphasis on, make it more of a focus. That being, my hamstrings. This machine here I call Mr. Squeaky. This is a squeaky machine. But I want to put more focus on my hamstring work. And I have recently. So I did 3 sets here actually it's in the 15 rep range, really. 3 sets of these laying leg curls. Then I did 1 more set on the standing leg curl machine where you do, unilateral leg curls. You may have seen it before. I've used it and shown it in some videos before. So it's 4 good sets of hamstring work. And then I finished up with some calf work, which I do most every day. I did 2 sets of 20-ish. And here I just want to point out, kind of doing a pump here. It's like a pulse curl. So I go down full stretch there, all the way up, then down part way, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, part way, pulse. Anyway, it was a good leg day. I'm happy with it overall. I'm not going to complain. Got some work in, and I'm really happy you took the time to hang out with me today. Thank you.
Alrighty, there it is. Another leg day in the books. Like I said, it was both happy with it and a little disappointed, but overall, I'll take it. Now it's time to go home, get some lunch in me as usual. I still got to get my walk in, haven't done that yet. But luckily, today is both hot and humid. Yay. So an afternoon walk is perfect. Anyway, thank you for being here. If you're this far in, I surely appreciate it. I really do. And if you are this far in, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Come join our awesome little group here. Be great to have you. So with that, I will say, till next time, go get 'em. Mark out.